Alright, what's poppin', guys? It's your boy Vale, aka Ooh, Raygun Rencha. And, you know, Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross just came out recently, as you can see on the screen. Your boy's playing it currently, like right now. The game came out about almost, I would say, a week, 2 weeks ago. And I think I've gotten a grasp on the game just enough to actually be able to help anybody that needs help. And I guess the point for today is that I'm going to do a very concise and strong team building guide. Now, this isn't going to be like a unit breakdown, um, a guide to leveling your units. None of that. It's mostly just going to be how to build your teams, what you should be focusing on to increase your team power, and the different roles each character can actually play. So, before we get into that, just make sure hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Do that for your boy. But yeah. So let's go back to the character inbox screen real quick. So as you can see, I have a pretty decent account. I would say, what was the rows? 13 URs and then a few SRs and a few SSRs. But you never just want to look at your units based on rarity when you're building your team, because that's not going to help like your overall goal of like beating content or doing PvP. You want to look at your units based on roles. So I'm actually going to click on King. Right now, most of my units aren't actually geared. They just have stuff tossed on them to get through content for the most part. Because I use a lot of characters as links, and I use the same like 5 units for PvP and PvE. But as you can see, they kind of have gear on them. They kind of don't. What you want to do is to make sure you focus on your unit's base stats and what they're really good at. So like this Fat King actually, let me pull the defense thing. It actually has an unnaturally high defense and an unnaturally high HP in comparison to most characters. So you would want to build him to fit a tank role on your team. If anything, you would want to make sure that he can eat up hits and just keep it pushing. It's kind of hard, to be honest, to like give an exact team building guide though without breaking down units, because I don't want to break down units yet because I want to save that for like showcases and all that. So I'm gonna just talk about the team that I got right now. I think I set it up preemptively already. Yeah, okay. So right now, as you can see, I have a PvE team. I'm actually swap out Elizabeth with Simon. All right, this is my PvE team. The first type of team you actually can build is a DPS rush team with 1 support. Now the thing about this team is it's heavily reliant on your main line being able to dish out damage quick enough before you die. And if it comes down to it, your support, which would be your subunit, either being able to heal or give you enough buffs to sustain and get through the content that you're doing. As of right now, I have 3 DPS and 1 healer with the new SR Liz, of course. This team is very self-sustaining due to both Bond and Simon having lifesteal. Well, Bond has a way higher lifesteal and Simon has a very low percentage of lifesteal. But because they have lifesteal and they each have AoE, they can sustain themselves. And with Slater on the team, he actually can remove any any stances that the enemy may have. So even if we are low on health, we're pretty much guaranteed to burst down the opposing team, whatever it may be, like very high defense boss or, a boss that may be using a lot of stances. We're pretty much guaranteed to be able to burst them down. And actually, I'm gonna do like a little quick run. I'm gonna do a quick run and show you what I mean by like strong DPS, because I'm a firm believer in practicing what you preach. So like this team right now, I'm gonna just toss it on auto, normal, and you're gonna see that Bond and Simon are gonna do most of the work, and then Slater is actually gonna be there to clean up whatever may be left over. So it's just gonna be on auto, and I actually have them all level 60 UR, as you can see. Bond's gonna snatch, he's gonna AoE. DPS, he's already killed 1 unit, and he's almost killed the 3rd, or a 2nd unit. Slater did clean up, killed him, and now we're down to 1 unit. as you can see, like with this type of team, you can get a lot done very, very quickly, thanks to how strong like your DPS units may be. And like that, the tank is almost already dead. Simon hit for 19k, he killed him. Slater almost one shot. I think I gotta increase his gear one more time for that to work properly. But like as you can see what I mean, like with a DPS rush team, you actually can just kind of let it play on auto, and as long as your team has enough damage, you actually have nothing to worry about. You can just pretty much clear out anything you want, and it's finished. I say that took like 30 seconds maybe to actually do, and we got a chalice from it. But DPS team, I would say like some of the best. Oh, and we hit reset. I would definitely say that some of the best DPS units available in the game at the moment, if you want to do this type of team where you don't have to, like, the DPS team is the auto team, so to speak, and I would say like the best units to go with would be Coinshot Bond, Hendrickson, Coinshot Bond, Hendrickson, Simon if you are Simon, Blue Meliodas actually can do this pretty well, and Hauser. I don't have my Hauser leveled up, but those units all can like dish out very consistent DPS and get things done. But you actually might need to bring some sustain until you actually can get them leveled up with the right gear and damage. Now, the second team is mostly your raid team. Your raid team is what you want to be able to do. You want a raid team because you have to play raid to be able to get demon horns to level 65 or level 70-ish your characters if you want to increase them past the current level cap, and you have to do raid regardless. So you want to have a strong raid team. Now, everybody by default actually has a strong raid team, I think, for the most part, because you get free story Meliodas, you get free King, and you get a Bond. Those three units right there already help you clear raid. If you level them up, you are and level them up again to max. They all can clear raid for you. But in the case of you having pulled from the gacha and you're using gacha units, I would say a strong raid team would definitely be Blue Bond, because he has type advantage against the boss, and he gets the bonus, like the 30 to 50% bonus that the bonds get when they go into the raid. I would definitely say Slater. Green Mel, definitely, because he can pretty much take out almost 140k or 100k plus on the boss. And Liz or King. Both of those units actually work. My King isn't leveled up because I kind of skipped over him because I didn't really need him, because I could just DPS rush everything down regardless. But those like units for, I would say, a raid team pretty much are guaranteeing you to win, because King has the healing, he has the CC to cleanse, he has Petrify, and as long as you build him with attack, you actually can get a lot of stuff done. Bond, strong DPS, still stats, and you know, Bond does what Bond does. Everybody knows the meme of Coinshot bombs, Coinshot Bond so far, with him just putting out crazy amounts of damage for an AoE unit. It's ridiculous. Slater is actually almost essential for the boss because he has stance removal, which the boss relies on stances to negate your damage and pretty much wipe your team. And Meliodas, because his counter is super cheesy and it dishes out like immense amounts of damage. So like for a raid team, you primarily want to have one solitary DPS, which would be Bond. No, my one solid DPS would be Bond. You want to have a cleanser or remover, so to speak, that can remove stances on the boss, which would be Slater. You want to have DPS, a secondary DPS, that can help with cleanup if need be, and that's Meliodas. And then you want to have one healer that could support everybody, which would be Liz. But yeah, pretty much you don't need these units, but that general concept, like you want to have a DPS, a healer, a buff remover, and then another DPS is the general like team that you would want to have for raid that will help you get going and get pushing. Like I said, free unit wise, you get all the units for free. You get this Meliodas, you get, where's the other Bond? You get this Bond for free, and you get, that's the wrong King, and you get this King. You get them all for free. You just level them up, max them out, you arm, and you're Gucci. You straight, you big like you're big chillin' for raid. It's no problem. And let's see, what was the last team? Okay, yeah, last team that I'm gonna go over is more of a sustain team, and I'm gonna actually build this. I'm gonna build this team with you, so that way you can see like how I go through the process of actually building them. Now, a sustain team is more on the defensive end, and not like the other two teams where you have like DPS stance removal. This team is more so you can fight in those long, drawn out battles without even paying attention because you know you won't die. Now, for sustain, primarily because Bond has lifesteal built in, and you can actually build them with lifesteal. I haven't built mine with lifesteal yet, but he has lifesteal built in. I would say a heavy sustain team would be Coin Shop Bond. Where is she? Liz, because she heals and her passive, if you actually could see that. And get out of here, Snapchat. Team Snapchat. You know, always in my DMs. But Liz and her passive, if you've taken damage on the previous turn, the next turn you get 10% of your HP back, which is even more sustained. Hendrickson, because he has actually built-in lifesteal. I think it goes 20, 30, 50 on rank 1, 2, and 3. I'm not, like, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. And not Slater. Slater is not a good sustain unit, but a good sustain unit is actually Guild Thunder. Like, this team right here is pretty much guaranteed sustain, and I would actually probably you don't need to swap anybody out. But this type of team, because Bond can steal a lot of HP from his AoE, Liz can heal, and Hendrickson has lifesteal, they'll actually pretty much guarantee to stay alive no matter what the content is, as long as it's not a boss like that stupid dragon over an SP dungeon. Certain enemies might be able to chip through this team, but that's primarily because of how passives work in this game. Passives give like passive for each character and each unit and enemy type give like great bonuses and insane bonuses. Like it's actually fucking crazy. But like if you fought the SP dragon for the blue dungeon, you'll know what I'm talking about, because he can hit for next to up to 100k on each of your units from an AoE hit, which is fucking insane. But this team, outside of like shit like that, can actually just survive through almost everything, because Liz is going to be healing, Bond's going to be healing himself, Hendrickson's going to be healing himself, and if need be, Gil can come in and tank hits until everybody is back up to healing. So I would actually say the even better team lineup would be this, because Gil pulls aggro, Liz heals, Bond heals himself. Bond heals himself, and yeah, your team is pretty much guaranteed to just stay alive and get stuff done that you need to get done. Oh, what's up, Raptor? Okay, hit me with that update on what he got. You got a video feature, my dude. Now, I'm gonna keep the PvP section for this really short, because I'm still like working on PvP stuff, and I'm not really playing as much PvP as I should be, because I could actually I could probably be in gold right now if I was sitting there playing. I'm not playing as much as I should. PvP wise, you need a healer no matter what. You need a healer. I don't care what almost anybody says, you need a healer, because with this meta and how much damage can be dished out, you have to be able to heal it back up. You need 2 strong DPS units, one like really strong DPS, one really strong DPS, and then one cleanup DPS, and I'll talk about cleanup in a second. And then you also need somebody that can eat hits, like a genuine amount of good hits. So in this case, I'm gonna put it in order from what I just said. All right, so in this case, Liz is our primary healer. She's gonna handle, you just want to spam heals. Rank 1 to rank 2, rank 3, it doesn't matter. Spam heals till you get ultimate, pop ultimate, and then rinse and repeat. Because with how much damage is dealt in PvP, it's actually very dangerous to even try to bank on the idea of, oh, maybe I'll live this next hit, and I'll win. I can kill him. I can kill him next turn. That's too dangerous of a tactic for PvP right now because of units like Coinshot Bond stealing stats and how the AoE units in this game work. It's too dangerous of a way to live. You can't live your life on the edge right now. So having a healer is essential now. King works, DN works, or not DN. King, Liz, and the SSR Liz, they all work as healers. They can get the job done perfectly fine. DPS, primary DPS, your primary DPS needs to be able to either do a good job at chipping everybody out or chunking the HP out of each unit that it hits. So like Coinshot Bond can currently chunk the HP out of everybody on the team, more than chip actually. I think good units that can also work if you don't have Coinshot Bond is Slater. Slater works for your primary DPS because he can actually kill a lot of people. Now this, a lot of people might disagree with me, and I don't have mines leveled up. Fairy King, Fairy King, the green one actually is a really strong PvP unit because of the fact that Blue King is currently like really strong in the meta, and he actually counters him because he has Fatal on all of on his first two skills, and I think he has Crushing or Penetration on his Ogi. He actually counters like a lot of the strong units in the meta, and he can dish out a lot of damage because his base, I think his base stat is at 626. It's really fucking high. Like primary DPS, you would want to go with a unit that has things like weakness, fatal, penetration, and all that. Units that have those types of kits or tools in their kit allow for you to break through the tankier teams, even the non-tanky teams that are just trying to burst you down. It allows you to burst them down first. So let me put Coinshot Bond back up here, and link my units because this team's gonna be weird. Now for sub DPS, your sub DPS is primarily just gonna be your cleanup. In this case, I have Meliodas as the cleanup. A lot of units actually work better than Meliodas at cleanup because Meliodas, to be able to do cleanup, has to be at low health, and like I said, you don't want to live your life like that with low health and attempting to come back from that state because he won't be able to heal if he's by himself. So actually, I think better cleanup units. Actually, I gotta leave out of the team thing. Yeah, better cleanup units are like units like Jericho. Blue Meliodas is a better cleanup unit because he has a full turn counter, and you can just spam rank 1 and it'll dish out consistent damage. Jericho, I don't have her because I just for some reason can't fucking pull Jericho. But Blue Meliodas that you get from story. Jericho, Martial Artist DN is actually a really good cleanup unit because by time, if she's your sub DPS and she's swapping in, by time she swaps in, you should have been able to have already like taken out a good decent amount of damage on your enemy, and she can actually clear up because of like how her rank 1s work. Oh yeah, I didn't even mean to go here. What am I doing? What are you doing? I didn't even mean to go there. Because of how her skill kit works, she can actually like debuff and then just start chunking HP. And pretty much by the time she does swap in, they'll be at half health or 70%. You can just start mowing them down, like no matter what. Cleanup can also good cleanup unit can also be units that have AoE, because say you're running behind and like you're running behind in PvP. You're down a unit and you just swapped in a unit because you lost one. Your enemy team still has like their first 3 units and they're only at like 30% health, and they're still living. Having a strong AoE unit can actually help you burst through them, and you can like actually take out all 3 at once. So like this is where Coinshot Bond as a sub unit also works. Fat Green King works. Blue Gauther works. And oddly enough, because I've tested it out, even though I haven't done much PvP, a unit like Griamore actually works because his AoE, as long as you have his passive unlocked, which is passive, increases his attack stat by 30% of his defense stat. units like Griamore that have insanely high defense values and can get extremely high HP values, if you pop his buffing skill and then you just start AoEing him, you'll actually be able to kill him before he can kill you. So, like, just keep that in mind, because it's a good concept to keep in mind, pretty much. So like I said, for general PvE content, you want to have either high sustain or high DPS. For raid, you need to have each role filled. You can't just do straight DPS, and you can't just do sustain. You gotta have a unit for each role, because each unit has a role, so to speak, in raid. You need a healer, you need a DPS, you need a cleanser or a buff remover, and then you need a strong comeback unit. And then for sustain, you just need units that won't die, or they have life still built into their kit, and then you pair them with a healer, and you're pretty much guaranteed to win. Not win, pretty much guaranteed to survive. And then for PvP, you need a healer, a DPS, a sub DPS, and tank. I have them in order right now on the screen. And okay, Arcana, playing Vesperia, and that's about it. Team building. I'm probably gonna do a unit breakdown guide, so you can like understand the team building a bit better. Because I know I tossed out terms like DPS, tank, and healer, and all that, without actually going into some people's kits. So I'll probably do a unit breakdown guide. But that's it. I hope this actually helps somebody. And as you can see, we had a daily summon, but I'm gonna save that because I don't like doing summoning videos, to be honest, anymore. It's not my type of thing. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. It's been your boy Vale. Hey.
She wanna go far, so I told little mama go along. You wonder why I'm here? I won't be back for long. I gotta make moves, no sleep all week in my room. Got another song to write right now.